What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about Season 3 Reloaded for Black Ops 6, the content to expect, and even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, I just want to let you know that I'm going to be giving away a Speed Cola Collector's Can for Xbox controllers, which does come with an in-game weapon charm. If you'd like to be entered in the giveaway, be sure to comment down below how many pairs of Control Freaks that you may own, 0 is okay, along with the best profile to contact you at. I'll have Nightbot pick a winner that I'll be announcing later this week. I'll put a tweet out right before I announce the winner as well. But regardless, if you're looking to get the best gameplay possible, then make sure to check out the deadly combo between aim controllers and Control Freak. Have those thumbsticks set and customize any build to your liking, whether it's for PlayStation or for Xbox. Code Dynamite will save you plenty of money off orders from either website. Now, jumping right into things, when it comes to the mid-Season 3 update, I get it, right? Season 3 kind of just came out 5 seconds ago, but here's why we're talking about Reloaded here. So looking at the past 2 seasons of Black Ops 6, and regardless of how long both those seasons were, the Reloaded update ended up dropping just about 3 weeks after the initial start of said season. It was like exactly 3 weeks for Season 1 Reloaded, and about 3 weeks and some change for Season 2 Reloaded. So here's what we're looking at, right? April the 24th should be when Season 3 Reloaded kicks off for Black Ops 6 and Warzone, but if it's anything like the mid-Season 2 update, there could be the beginning of a big crossover, which thankfully we know about at least one so far, that can start with Reloaded, then get expanded upon around a week later, maybe on May 1st, with a potential event pass. We've gotten an event pass twice now inside of Black Ops 6, and I doubt they're going to be slowing down on them, so what I think we're going to see is a bit of a split between April 24th and May 1st when it comes to a bunch of mid-season related content. So if that's going to be the case, then as of later this week, we should be getting some type of marketing or announcement for the mid-season 3 update. Then again, as we saw a couple of times during Modern Warfare, and I think a little bit during BO6, sometimes we'll even get marketing for Reloaded the week of launch. I'll keep you guys in the loop about that, but I'm sure if a download ends up popping up early for preload via PlayStation Size, that'll be an indicator that the update is just around the corner. Here's what's confusing though, right? As I made a separate video on a couple of days ago, there's also a bunch of content planned that is meant to be separate from the 420 content drop for April 20th. Then there's a bunch of DLC related to 420 that may be tied to Reloaded or could also be separate. There's a lot actually on deck for Season 3 right now. Let's point out something real quick. So they did mention that a bunch of 420 related content will be released during mid-season, so I guess they can bundle all of that for Reloaded, sure. And as far as what that content is, as a bit of a quick recap, there is going to be the joint operations mode coming to multiplayer, which is kind of like a spin on Pentathlon from the Squid Games crossover a few months back, where while you're in a match, you'll see different game modes kind of cycling in and out as you're playing, and then there'll also be some wacky modifiers that I'll put on screen so you can see that gave us the most information about that mode. But then we also have the zombie snack mode for round-based. We're not really sure what that mode will entail, but somehow Milo, aka Mr. Rothwaffles, did get some new info about that LTM for zombies that I'll put on screen so you can see. Not sure where that info even comes from, because we didn't hear it in the creator call that did happen about 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't in the blog post either, but either way, we'll be seeing a pretty cool looking mode with a bunch of wacky modifiers while playing round-based, and the mode should be available on all maps in the game. Now, we also have High Trip Resurgence for Verdansk. You'll be playing this mode on the big map, and we're not really sure how it's going to work, but will likely function similarly to the High Trip Resurgence mode that we saw last year for MW3 Rebirth, where you can go ahead and loot a bunch of gummies and probably have modifiers applied to your loadout, which should make for some pretty cool gameplay, of course. But all of that should be connected to the Blaze of Glory event, which realistically should be dropping later this week. We're unsure what type of challenge event it is. Are we just grabbing things? Are we doing actual challenges? We know April 17th, this Thursday, is slotted for the Black Ops Tribute event, so unless they want to drop 2 events on one day, it's possible this event will kick off on April the 24th, which I know is after 420 and confusing, but that just might be how it works here. On top of that, they also confirmed that attachment mixing that initially released during, I think it was Season 1 of Black Ops 6, but later got removed because of an exploit, that was meant to actually come back with the start of Season 3, but got delayed again for whatever reason. I do believe the Camel Hub was planned for mid-season. That ended up coming out already, but then attachment mixing for our blueprints got pushed back. They didn't specify that it was going to be launched during Reloaded, but I'd guess the next major title update is when they're going to end up adding this back in. And just an FYI, for everything we're talking about in this video, the 420 content and all the mid-season DLC, none of that is in the game's files at the moment. None of the leakers or data miners have force-loaded any of that content in-game early, meaning that the content isn't even in the game yet. So we're going to have to wait for another download before any of this DLC that we're talking about could become loadable. I'd also like to point out the key art for Season 3, because if you zoom in a little bit, you'll see the classic stone skin from Black Ops Cold War. I believe you were able to preview this skin from some of the recent finishing moves that you can see via bundles or through the battle pass, so the classic stone skin should be on the way through likely a separate bundle. I mean, fingers crossed that they could have a challenge event release this operator skin for free. That would be great, but I wouldn't get my hopes up. I mean, as of now, the bundles are okay for Season 3. Not the strongest selection. There's a couple of cool ones that stick out, but I know for sure a lot of fans of Cold War are going to end up digging however this operator does re-release at some point, likely with Season 3 Reloaded. But the season is obviously structured a lot around nostalgia, so I also wouldn't be surprised if with the mid-season we end up seeing other nostalgic cosmetics added for various operator skins, blueprints, or even some mastercrafts. But now focusing a little bit more on multiplayer. So we do know that we're going to be seeing the demolition mode added at some point. It wasn't really specified as a Reloaded update. It was mentioned as a launch window update, so I do think this mode could actually come out this week, while we could also be potentially seeing actual marketing for Reloaded at the same time. But again, the terminology in recent blog posts has been kind of off, where they'll label something launch window, in season, or mid season, and then all of that kind of gets scrambled. It doesn't really mean very much when you look at when certain content actually drops. But Demolition is a classic. On top of that, we also have 2 multiplayer maps, one of which is rumored to be returning, or one of them is rumored to have been saved from MW3 last year. It's called Haven. It takes place in a KGB black site. It's a full 6v6 map. Maybe Sledgehammer originally developed it. There's really no way to know for sure, other than speculating about the TAC map graphic, which seems to be similar from the MW3 TAC maps last year. Regardless, should be a pretty cool multiplayer map. And then on top of that, we also have a map called Signal. This is going to be a strike experience that doesn't support score streaks, but allegedly is a map that was originally planned for Black Ops 1 that ended up getting cut. And I believe the rumor has it that the map got cut because there was no way to actually use streaks on it, because it's a full interior experience. It takes place on the Rusalka that shipped from the Black Ops 1 campaign. This should be a pretty badass map, and I guess to solve the issue of not being able to call in any aerial streaks, they just made it a strike map where you can't use any streaks anyway. Now, when it comes to weaponry, we actually don't know too much. I do believe that with Season 2 Reloaded's armory updates, I think that does set a precedent that with every Reloaded update or possible crossover event, a bunch of melee weapons or just weapons in general could be added to the armory out of a complete surprise whenever the midseason actually begins, because as of right now, we know about the Ladra. This is the Spectre SMG from Black Ops 1 that we actually haven't seen in many, many years. This is going to be coming back through an in-game event reward. We're just not sure which event it's actually tied to. Could it be Blaze of Glory before Reloaded or with it? Could it be the COD Endowment event? Not exactly sure what event it's tied to, but we'll end up unlocking it at some point. We also know about the mini rocket conversion kit for the Goblin. Probably is going to be similar to that rocket amp that we saw for one of the snipers in Modern Warfare 3 last year. So this might end up just being a giant meme that is probably somewhat viable in zombies, maybe fun in MP, but I'd really love to see what this could do against other enemies or bots within Warzone. Now, through Warzone Mobile, Data Miner Reality UK did find references to a pistol that we don't really know much about. I think it's some type of revolver or python, but it's a little hard to tell right now. This could be a surprise weapon that comes out with the mid-season, or again, could even be a weapon that is going to be saved for Season 4. Now, I'm going to throw this in for fun, but there's actually a melee weapon skin that'll be featured in the Sizzlin' Bacon Pack. Not sure when it's coming out, but there's going to be a skin for the Cleaver, which literally gives you a frying pan. I've seen a little bit of confusion regarding this melee being a standalone weapon that you can unlock for free. Unfortunately, it's not. It's exclusive to this pack, just to be clear. Now, before I forget, we also have a brand new perk called Vendetta. It's being labeled as a mid-season event reward. It's going to be sitting in the second perk slot for Recon, and it says on respawn, mark your killer's last known position for a short duration. Get a bonus score for eliminating that enemy. The Vigilance perk will counter being marked by Vendetta. So it sounds pretty scary and overpowered, but I do think the fact that you can counter it has me a little more optimistic. But regardless of how powerful this perk is, it could always be adjusted with a future update. Now, over in Zombies, I know I already made a video focusing just on round base, but just to recap real quick, we're going to be seeing the Ray Gun Mark II added to all mystery boxes across Black Ops 6. Not the upgrades, just the base version to be clear. We're also going to be seeing the Frost Blast Field upgrade, which inevitably will come with a bunch of augments. Could be other surprises. I know Shatter Blast was rumored for quite some time. That's probably being saved for Season 4 if I had to guess. We also have directed mode for the Shattered Veil, allowing you to go ahead and get some XP, a different version of that calling card that you may already have right now for beating the quest, and of course a double tap charm. But just to remind you as well, we were promised 2 extra modes in Zombies this season. The first one is Team Cranked, which was marked as a launch window update, so that's why I'm thinking that should be coming out this week, again allowing you to unlock some free Ultra Gobblegums for reaching around 50 on each map while playing the mode. That should be fun, and I guess that'll be live at the same time that Zombie Snack releases with the 420 update. I know, like I said before, things are a bit iffy here because it seems like Reloaded is dropping after April the 20th, so the 420 festivities may be a little late, but that's cool to know that Zombies is at least getting a good amount of content to keep us going for the remainder of Season 3. Now, although we don't know much more about other potential challenge events, like again the COD Endowment one, we know we'll likely end up getting a COD Endowment bundle that you pay real money for, with all proceedings going to veterans. Apart from that, there could be other surprise events planned for later in Reloaded, but we actually know quite a bit about what's coming to Warzone. So if you guys remember, there was a giant Verdansk-themed blog post released before the roadmap even dropped for Season 3, and there was a ton of info in there that gives us hints as to what we could expect on Verdansk and maybe a pinch of Rebirth with Season 3 Reloaded. First off, Battle Royale Ranked. Yes, ranked play is coming to Verdansk for the first time ever. The closest to it for Verdansk was, what, Iron Trials way back when? That was for Verdansk 84, I believe. We also know about high value loot zones. This is a feature that was introduced with Modern Warfare 3 Warzone that we actually never saw come back. It wasn't on Urzikstan with the Black Ops 6 integration or in any Resurgence map, but essentially go up to a high value loot zone and you should see more orange chests than usual. Now, the Specialist perk is also making its way back in. I believe you should still be able to buy it, and could also be found randomly through what I'm assuming is going to be an Easter egg or some secret area. They haven't specified what's going on with actual quests on Verdansk, but I do believe based on the teaser trailer and the blog post, there could be some mystery surrounding Bunker 11 again, or maybe even those teddy bears around the map. We're going to be seeing something, I believe, with Reloaded tied to some type of Easter egg. Hopefully there's a reward, whether it's a blueprint or something else. I'll keep you guys in the loop as we end up hunting, but they're also going to be adding in the PDS, the Portable Decontamination Station. This really hasn't been present all that much in recent years. I know it kind of popped into Warzone, maybe with, what was it, the beginning of BO6 Warzone, or at some point in Modern Warfare 3, but this did get added, I believe, during the Caldera era of Warzone 1. The Bunker Buster's also coming back. I know Warzone, as of Season 3, did remove a couple of quality of life features that are planned to be coming back, so they didn't fully reset on some features and score streaks like this, but other in-game events are going to be introduced while you're playing Verdansk. We know that contracts like Recon and Big Bounty are coming back. Vertical Ascenders should be added into Battle Royale, which I believe are already present in Plunder, and then the original train that would move around Verdansk, that's also going to be coming, along with access to the interior of the train station. Maybe there'll be an Easter egg tied to that, but either way, they're going to be expanding Verdansk and probably bringing back a lot of quality of life changes that we may have saw back then. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. That's everything we know so far about Season 3 Reloaded for Black Ops 6 and Warzone. As anything else does get revealed, I'll of course make some follow-up content, and we'll be awaiting potential marketing, which could be later this week. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.